Good morning. Welcome to Winnipeg. Now, about this stuff I got from the hospital yesterday. I guess I didn't make it too clear. I'm not going in for surgery tomorrow or anything like that. I think we're going to be well into April. If I'm not mistaken, it's around April the 11th. Yeah. Hopefully by then the snow will have been gone and I'll be out and have had a few good scoots. Anyway, thank you so much for all of you who wished me well and all that kind of stuff. It was very nice. Okay, now about this. Where did we leave off here yesterday? We had glued the push rods for the rudders onto the little. Okay, now that piece that I glued it onto, it would be kind of like a bell crank. So there's, okay, now I remember it's a control horn, okay? That's the horn is the word I couldn't remember. So just I remember beep beep. Okay. And that's the way I'm doing it, actually. That's pathetic. Okay, so yeah, this part that this end of the bell, the push rod rather, got glued onto is actually a control horn, but the part that the other end is on would be a bell crank. Now that's what I used to call it and refer to it here in North America anyway. Model airplane stuff. You know, like flying models. Bell cranks, push rods, elevators, ailerons, rudders, all that kind of stuff. Okay, enough about that. I was mentioning to military modeler Paul that I was afraid that there was the possibility that I've got all these wires here and some of them are kind of crossed over like this and they are being pinched. And my concern was that the coating on the wire could crack and I'll have bare wire touching together. And if a positive wire and a negative wire happen to be touching, I'm going to have a short. Maybe as I mentioned in my reply to him, I'll be lucky and it'll be two positives or two negatives that happen to be touching. That won't make any difference. Yeah, somebody suggested, wouldn't it have been better to have had a hole underneath each module and had the modules coming out, the wires coming out? And the answer to that is yes, it would have been better, but it's too late now because I have glued, super glued or CA glued the wires in different places on the modules. Hindsight is better than foresight, isn't it? Okay, Ada Coke and Chris, you might want to think about that. Yeah, Ada Coke and Chris has got this same kit here. All right, we were going to check and see. My concern was that when I pick this up, that the push rods don't break off of the bell crank. Okay, first of all, first things first. Missy the dog will probably be making an appearance today. Yeah. Okay, so we're ready for Missy the dog. All right. Let's recompose here and carefully pick this up. I honestly have not touched it since yesterday, so I think it'll be okay. And then we're going to slip it into the shell there and try and get these ends fastened onto the rudder posts, shafts. Anyway, yeah, let's just get right into it here and see if we can get something done here. I know I keep thinking, oh, we'll be done. We'll have the thing all encapsulated and it'll be all done by the end of the day. And I keep running into little problems. But that's what makes it fun. Yeah, it does actually. It makes it fun. You run into a problem and you you think, oh, maybe I could fix it this way, maybe I could fix it that way, or even if you accidentally break something and you think, now I have to glue it back together and it's not going to look quite as good. But it's all part of the fun. Yeah. Okay, let's recompose here and carefully pick this up and see how badly these little push rods are going to slump. I think it's going to be okay. I really do. Okay, the moment of truth. Aha. Yes. Now let's not go testing them to see how strong they are, because there's a lot of leverage on the other end of this push rod here. But I think if I'm very careful, we're not going to break them off. At least that's the plan. Okay. Now, I've been thinking about this. How do I insert this part into that part? And I'm thinking that possibly, I don't think there's anything we're going to damage here except possibly our little light. But if I'm careful, it should be all right. We're just putting it on the green cloth here. If I put this upside down, it should want to stay that way, all by itself. Yeah. Let's just move it down here a little bit here. All right, now, okay, these wires are okay. So now it's upside down, obviously, and so is this part. It's still upside down. So if we very gently here, okay, now we're going to want to remove this clamp, which I've got on here to keep it from falling over. All right, now, turn it around. Oh, don't want to yank any wires here. That's how we're going to have an accident. Okay. Make sure that the wires are loose. Do all my moving slowly and carefully. Now I want to be careful when I'm going to the other end there that my control horns don't catch on something. Let's see, sort of watching here. Everything seems to be going all right. If there's any binding going on. Okay, because once I get this in place, and it looks like we might be able to get the control horns onto the ends of the, let's see here, I'm just going to carefully turn this now. It doesn't want to go in all the way. What is this catching on here? There we go. Oh, my wires are getting pinched. How do I hook onto that now and pull that out? Good old crochet hook. 6 Airbrush Tony said, a handy thing to have at the model table is a crochet hook. And boy, was he ever right. Person could easily make up their own. There we go. Now, I just want to take and look along in here. Does it look, what is binding and where? Oh, I see what's happening. We got, yeah, this light is sort of binding on that long piece of whatever it's supposed to be with all the holes in it. I think we're probably safe to. I'm just going to turn the camera off and just very carefully here try and get all my wires together. It is almost all the way in and seated. I can see it only has to go about another millimeter, if that. Yeah, I think that's about it. I think we basically got it here. That's going to look pretty cool when it's all lit up, isn't it? Yeah. At least I think it will. Okay, now let's carefully put it back down, get our camera turned off, and think about what do I do next here. Okay, keeping in mind here that this is still upside down. And what I'm doing is I'm reaching through. There's an opening here where you would put a torpedo sticking out from the aft torpedo tube, I guess. Unfortunately, I can't really do that, at least to have it believable, because we have the other end of the torpedo tube with the propellers and everything sticking out of a torpedo. Now, the rudder shaft right here that I'm just trying to touch. Okay, the rudder shaft here is supposed to have this control horn fastened on. I'm probably going to have to do this off camera. Yeah, I think if I do it off camera, it'll work. But it does seem to be lining up pretty good. There's going to be very little tweaking, you might say, to get it to fasten on. But I will have to do it off camera, I can tell right now. But I'm probably going to have to take this whole thing back out of the shell here. And I'll back off and I'll show you why in just a second here. Good morning, Missy. Have you been playing in the snow? Morning, Max.
Good morning, Ron.
All right. Now don't forget to sniff the garbage. Okay. Here we go. Yeah. I should have been a baseball catcher.
Yeah. How are you today?
I'm good. How about you?
Oh, I'm good. Got a bit of an early start. I'm gonna go pick up the car or Uber over and then head down to the E-Gym.
You know, I should get Uber on my cell phone. That'd be a handy thing.
Yeah. It's a free download.
Well, Missy.
And the thing is, it's all off your credit card, so cash doesn't have to change hands.
Yeah.
You don't worry about tipping or anything like that. You can tip afterwards. They send you an email. Tipping's optional.
Okay, so like you could hand the guy $5 bill or something like that if you wanted to. Is that the idea, or?
If you wanted to, but I don't tip because you're going to get an email in about 30 minutes to ask you to rate your driver in the car
Oh, and tip.
and put in a tip if you want. You know,
Oh, that's handy.
it's sort of no tip or $1, $3, $5, that kind of thing.
Oh, okay. Well, Missy.
Last winter, Rainey and I Ubered everywhere in Mazatlan.
Well, they must be all around the world then.
Oh yeah. Goodbye, Uncle Ron.
Goodbye,
You're the
Missy.
best, Uncle Ron.
Am I the best? Huh? Am I the best?
You got the best stuff.
You're the best, Missy. Yeah, you're the best.
Thanks, Ron. I'll see you this afternoon.
You betcha. Bye, Missy. Okay, still cold out there. Missy the dog. Missy the dog. Okay, now it seems to me I was going to explain why it is that I'm going to have to probably take this module back out of the shell. Yeah, because I'm thinking that I might have to join these two parts together before we slip the module on. After this is on, I'm going to have to do a bit of a dry run here and see how this is going to go. It could be that I can't quite get everything to line up right here. That's what I'm thinking right now anyway. Just let me recompose here a bit. Okay, I have just temporarily, you might say, put the plastic shell on the forward part. And my thinking is, can we get everything to all line up at the same time here? And where are the wires going to exit? Maybe I should be making a little notch on the back side right here that the wires can exit, or maybe down here on the bottom may be better. And that way they could run along the hidden side. Anyway, let's just for the fun of it, see what's going to happen here. Now, okay, now this has to go on the outside of all of this. I know I had this fastened together once when I didn't have the modules in there, but now I've got the modules in there. And it is not wanting to go together easily. Okay, I'm going to have to push stop here and try and figure this out. Okay, this module is in place. In other words, the positioning pegs, if you want to call them, are in the slots. Now, unfortunately, I'm pinching my wire, but at least it's in place. But this one here, now, if you remember way back when we made a module, and I said I think it didn't glue together square. In fact, one of the viewers just recently commented about that and reminded me, says, hey, you remember one of those modules wasn't square? I hope it's not going to give you a problem. It might have been this one. Because what's happening here, see if I can how to stand up, get my pipe in the right place again. Okay. What's happening is I can't get the pegs that are on like right there there's a peg, and here, right here there's a peg. And they are, I can't get the module to go back enough. I gotta be careful not to force anything here. Where's my crochet hook again? Should I pull this pipe up just a little bit? Get it to go into more or less into place. Yeah, I can't get this back enough this way so that those pegs will go in. So consequently, this is not going down enough, and the clear plastic shell can't go down, and it's too big. So the piece I'm trying to put on the end here, it won't fit either. So I'm thinking that maybe at this point is I just cut these off so that this bulkhead will drop down all the way. And yes, it's going to be a millimeter or so too far this way, but at least I'll be able to get the plastic shell down. And even if these two parts, like this forward part and the aft part, and there's a little separation that shouldn't be there, I don't think we will notice that. Otherwise, I can't get them to go together. So I think what we're going to do here is very carefully take this out and try not to break any wires off, and cut this one off, and cut this one off. Oh my! It's all part of the fun. Yeah, it really is. Now, just as I was working here right now and set up just the way you see it, I hear my mailbox rattle and the mailman's there. Got a card in the mail. And so I get the card and I look at the back, and Newfoundland. No, I think that's Netherlands. Holland. Yeah, we'll have to open this later. Yeah. All right. Now, where were we here? I guess we better focus on these. Okay, this may not go as planned, but I'm hoping I can just sort of nip most of this off and then file it the rest of the way. I don't know what else to do here, because if one of these modules has been glued together and it's not square, there's just going to be no way that we can get it apart and do anything about it. Now, this isn't going to want to go this way too good, I don't think. Okay, I'm just going to have to take Chris's file and file that down off camera. But anyway, you get the idea here. I think this is going to actually work. Okay, it appears that this is going together better now. Yeah. And I have removed the, I guess you'd say, innards from the stern section. Now, I don't want to break our wire. Now, just because I can get this on, well, maybe I can't. If I can't get this to press on, there it's kind of going. But once again, I don't want to be breaking our wire in there. I wonder if I was to do it maybe from the bottom first. Okay, I just knocked over the innards, which were laying on their back. They're now laying on their side. I hope I didn't break off anything that wasn't supposed to. No, it's got to go from the top's deck first. Okay, I'm going to have to push stop here. Maybe we should open our card and see who sent our card. Yeah, that'll cheer us up. Dutch Dave. Hey. Thanks, Dave. Yeah. Merry Christmas to you and Happy New Year to you as well. Okay, I've been working at this thing for a few minutes now. Once again, trying first the bottom and then the top, and I've concluded, as I mentioned before, that the top has to go on first, and it is. And it's actually on all the way around on top and on both sides, except for right here. It seems that there's just about maybe not even half a millimeter. Now, what I'm thinking of, and I don't know if this is a good idea or not, I'm just going to take this back off. It's a pretty tight fit there. Is maybe if I bevel this. That's the only thing I can think of to do here, because it just doesn't go together tight enough to get this on, and I don't think we're going to notice that. Okay, I have to do this off camera because I have to go all the way around. Yeah, like I said, it's all part of the fun. Okay, here we go. Is this going to make the difference? Must be doing something wrong here. Oh, that's... No, I can't even get the top in. Okay, the top's in. Yeah, the top's in nicely. It looks like the bottom's going to go. Wonder if I could lay this whole thing on its upside down. See, I've got this pipe on the other side sticking out, if you remember. So I'm gonna have to reorganize here. Use these foam blocks to keep it up off the table so that I don't break the pipe off. I think we almost got it. Now the thing is that yes, we got it, but the insides aren't on, so that's going to make it more difficult. But let's see if we can get it to fit without the insides on first. Now, oh, there we go. I was just going to say I don't want to force it on so hard that it splits the plastic, but it's on. Okay, next hurdle. Can we do the same thing when the module is on the inside of the shell? That is the question. Okay, I think I better call her quits here for today. I was starting to think silly thoughts like, why don't we just glue this all together now, and after we get our module stuck in there, and then we're done. But yeah, if you remember way back quite a few episodes ago, we had this pipe, and I couldn't quite get it to manipulate around the back. I think it was the engine when we were doing the diesel engine room. And so I cut these off, and I said, well, maybe we can glue them in place afterwards. Okay, so we got that. And also, before we seal it up, we got the little stools to put in the radio room. Yeah, so that all has to be done. Okay, I'm going to call her quits here for today, folks. And thanks for watching, everybody. And all being well, we'll see you tomorrow.